Good evening. It is time for today's Tax Talk. I'm your host. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. Lots of things going on. Tax day was on Monday. You start seeing the same stories over and over again. It is Thursday, April 21st, the year of our Lord 2022. Again, these stories planted every year right after tax day. One is that the IRS needs more money. We talked about that yesterday. And then the next one is, the IRS needs more control so they can make it easier for us. And that's another meme. You'll see it all over. It's everywhere. Someone's planting these stories places. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Won't you join us? Okay, so here we go. It's amazing to me how they can plant these stories and try to get the same story out, like everybody's thinking about this themselves, and someone comes out with this great idea. Hey, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Hey, why didn't the IRS just do it for you? Remember yesterday we discussed in Sweden you get a text message. That's it. In Croatia, it takes them 5 minutes. And they go on and on about. But they don't tell you. What they don't tell you is that the governments in those countries have so much control over their citizenry that, of course, they know everything about them. And they tell them what their taxes are. And then they tax them accordingly. And then they have the VAT, and then they have all these other taxes. And so a great portion of their income goes to taxes. I know a lot of people want that. A lot of people here in this country would like to see that. I don't think that's a good idea. There's an old saying, right? There's nothing more expensive. If you want to make something very, very expensive, make it free. Give it away by the government. The people won't see the cost, but it costs a lot more. And there's a story on here in the Hill, and that's where we're going to begin today. So let's do that. Here's the story in the Hill. The IRS is in no position to do your taxes. So that's what they're telling us. Let the IRS do yours. We don't need these tax preparers. And they say, Attorney Leahy, don't you do tax preparation? The answer is yes, I do. But that's not really that's not the focus of my practice. Sometimes we need to do tax returns to get people in compliance. And we do tax returns for people who are our clients, business people. But that's not the focus of my practice, and I'm not trying to carve out my niche. If I thought it was easier and better and less expensive for the government to do it, well, I'd certainly tell you that. But we know that it's not more or less expensive. It's more expensive. You just don't see it. There's nothing cheaper. Again, there's nothing more expensive than giving something away for free by the government. It costs a lot of money. School, one of them, right? Public schools cost more than private schools. Why is that? So let's go to the story. Every year, Americans struggle to comply with the complex and confusing tax code. Americans collectively spent an estimated 1.9 billion hours filing their individual tax returns in 2020. Taxpayers also incur out-of-pocket costs of about $36 billion, or $230 per average per taxpayer. Progressives routinely say that there is a simple solution to this tax complexity. Have the government create a tax preparation return-free file system. We do have, if you make less than $78,000 or $75,000, there is a file-free system. While it may sound like a reasonable solution to tax complexity, there are numerous problems with creating and implementing this system. It would be near impossible for the government to administer the system with the plethora of tax credits. I used that word plethora in my description today. Once you hear it, you want to use that again. And deductions that exist. And it would require Americans to disclose more private information to the government, creating a potential for privacy violations. Of course, it would also create opportunities for the IRS to further abuse its power. Obviously, Our current tax system is known as a voluntary system of compliance, as Americans are responsible for filing their own tax returns. However, progressives like Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, AOC want to replace this with a system where the government both assesses and files taxes for Americans. They just send you the bill. Here it is, pay it. Actually, they want to collect it as you go, so you never really even know what you're paying. There are many reasons to be concerned with this proposal. For one, government tax preparation system is a conflict of interest. Under a system of government-run tax preparation, the IRS would tell you how much you owe and give you an opportunity to contest. This would give the government an incentive to overcharge or withhold information from taxpayers. Even if you trust federal bureaucrats to fairly administer this new system, and I don't think we do, it is not hard to see how errors in the tax preparation system accidentally leave taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars worse off due to miscalculations. Furthermore, a recent report by PricewaterhouseCoopers found that it was unclear whether a government tax preparation system would reduce compliance costs, as some costs would be eliminated, others would be redistributed, and new costs would be created. Not to mention you pay more in taxes because there wouldn't get. Do you think the government's going to hunt out all of these deductions? Absolutely not. That's not their incentive. Would be to charge you more. Get rid of the deductions. A government tax preparation system isn't even feasible with existing tax credits and deductions. Many welfare programs and subsidies are administered through the tax code, including tax provisions dealing with children, child care, poverty, education, health care, housing, energy, and more. As noted in a recent study by the Progressive Policy Institute, the IRS does not have the information it needs to prepare tax returns for American families. This could deprive low-income Americans of tax credits like child tax credit and earned income tax credits. As the report notes, it would be difficult or impossible for the IRS to properly administer these credits. In order for the agency to be able to properly administer these credits, they would have to have deep knowledge of the personal lives of that family, which would result in a significant intrusion into the personal lives of American citizens. The IRS already struggles to complete its most basic tasks, like reviewing tax returns on time, safeguarding taxpayer information, modernizing technology, and I'll add, answering the phone. In the past year, the IRS has failed to keep up with processing returns. As of March 25th, the agency had 7.2 million unprocessed individual returns, including 4.9 million with errors or needing special handling. The agency also has a poor record of protecting taxpayer information. Last July, the progressive news organization of ProPublica announced it had received stolen private tax returns of thousands of taxpayers covering 15 years. This is not the only case where the IRS has failed to protect taxpayer data. For instance, a 2016 U.S. government Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration report found that the IRS had lost track of 1,000 laptops containing sensitive taxpayer data that contract employees used, while hackers stole the personal data of 330,000 taxpayers in 2015. They probably have done much more than that since then. We just don't know it. Given these struggles, it is clear that giving the agency new responsibilities to create and administer a tax preparation system is a disaster waiting to happen. Absolutely true. This proposal has failed in the U.S. when it has been tried. California tried a government tax filing system several decades ago and quickly shelved the plan. Just 3% of eligible taxpayers used the system when it was first launched, and participants topped out at 90,000 filers. Taxpayers should be concerned with the left's goal of having the IRS create a government-run tax preparation system. It is unclear how this proposal would be implemented, would require the agency to collect significantly more information from taxpayers, and would entrust the inept IRS with even more responsibilities. True. True. Now, next, I wanted to mention that on Tuesday this week, our Crypto Tuesday, on Crypto Tuesday, I was not here. I went to the baseball game, the Cubs game, and I missed the show. But I wanted to just review the let's review at coinflip.tech, our go-to Bitcoin provider, broker. Actually, it's a they call it an ATM, but it's really not an ATM. I don't remember what he said. He was on my show. Anyway, crypto. Here we are on Thursday. Markets are down across the board. Almost every Tuesday when we do it, the markets are up. I don't know. I think we've stumbled upon something that if you were arbitraging between Monday and Tuesday, probably going to go up. At least it has been in my experience. I'm not giving tax advice. Investment advice. I don't know anything about it. I'm just making an observation. That's all. I had a couple of stories. One is a 16Z debuts new crypto research team led by Columbia Stanford researchers. So they're saying in this story, what they're telling us is, hey, you guys that invented this and have really been pushing it and really know all about it, we're going to take over now, right? The establishment researchers are going to take over. The big boys are here. Step aside. We're going to take over. I think it's ridiculous, but that's what always happens. Next one is the crypto billionaire rankles Wall Street titans with derivatives plan. He's got this idea of an algorithm to get rid of the middleman when dealing brokers. The algorithm would settle bids on crypto and in the commodities market and across the board. This would reduce costs greatly, and of course, Wall Street is against it. That means we should really look into it and consider it, in my opinion. Well, that's where we are today, so I wanted to thank you so much for joining us. Remember, I ask you to help us get this information out to people, and to do that, we ask you to like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe our content. We need to get it out there, and we need your help to do it. So please help us do that. And next, I want to tell you that if you have IRS problems and you need to solve them, everybody needs to solve their IRS problems. Can't sleep well at night with an IRS problem. That's the first thing you should do to start getting a good night's sleep. Get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today. Go to freeirsbook.com, freeirsbook.com. That's freeirsbook.com. Get your free copy. So thanks so much for joining us here today. We appreciate it. Remember, tax returns will never be more expensive than if we get them for free. Let's all remember that. Thanks so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you. Now, tomorrow is the Watch Talk Radio podcast. About 2 o'clock, 2:15, we're going to be on, have an attorney tomorrow, the IRS Radio Hour. We'll record it from about 2:15 until 4:15, 4:30, somewhere in that neighborhood. So join us everywhere you see us, everywhere you can find us, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're going to be everywhere. So thanks so much for joining us here tonight. We look forward to seeing you again. Out.